Imagine for a moment the picture in your mind, the perfect dress, the one you've dreamt of, perhaps since childhood, the one that embodies every hope and every whisper of your future. It's more than just fabric and lace, a promise, a moment frozen in time. Now, imagine walking into the very place where that dream is supposed to come alive, a bridal boutique, only to discover that the dress, or even the possibility of that dress, is quietly being taken away, not by a sudden market crash, not by a designer's whim, but by a subtle, almost imperceptible shift happening behind closed doors. One that could redefine what a dream dress even means for an entire generation of brides. This isn't about trends or new collections. It's about a looming crisis in sizing, a silent culling that could leave countless brides feeling overlooked, underserved, and ultimately heartbroken. The whispers began subtly, almost unnoticed, among industry insiders and frustrated consultants. Bridal boutiques, the very sanctuaries of wedding dreams, have begun a quiet, calculated purge of their inventory. This isn't a widely advertised sale or a public announcement. The rack space dedicated to certain sizes? Imagine the back rooms where decisions are made not just on style but on square footage, on turnover rates, on the cold. Boutique owners, facing increasing pressures, are making difficult choices, often without fully realizing the collective impact these individual decisions are having on the broader market. It's a slow, deliberate erosion of choice happening in plain sight, yet hidden by the very nature of its gradual implementation. For many brides-to-be, the reality of this silent culling will only hit when they step into a boutique, full of anticipation, only to be met with a surprisingly limited selection in their size, or worse, none at all. The first casualties in this quiet downsizing are often found at the very edges of the sizing spectrum. Walk into many bridal salons today, and you might notice a startling scarcity of the ultra-petite sizes, the OOs O South and even 2 South, alongside a similar, if not more, pronounced absence of the extended sizes, those above a 20, a 22 or higher. The industry's rationale, often unspoken, hinges on perceived demand and the economics of floor space. Boutiques argue that these extreme sizes represent a smaller percentage of their overall sales. Sample gown takes up valuable real estate, and when a dress in AOO or a 26 sits 4 months without being tried on, it represents a missed opportunity for a dress that might sell faster. There's also the argument that alterations can size down a larger dress or size up a smaller one, a notion that often overlooks the extensive, costly, and sometimes impossible alterations required to truly transform a gown. Especially at the extremes, this economic logic, while seemingly sound on a spreadsheet, creates a very real bottleneck for brides who fall outside the perceived average, leaving them with a frustratingly narrow range of options, if any. What's even more alarming is that this size squeeze isn't confined to the statistical outliers. Even traditionally standard or popular sizes are finding themselves under pressure. Think of the sizes that once formed the backbone of any well-stocked bridal boutique. The 8 South. Boutiques are narrowing their focus, perhaps stocking only 1 or 2 samples of a particular style in what they deem the most popular sizes, rather than the wider range they once offered. This means that if you're a size 10 and the only sample available is a size 14, you're left trying to envision the fit, often with clips and pins rather than experiencing the true silhouette. This shift also exacerbates another growing problem: longer wait times. With fewer samples available, boutiques are ordering less frequently, and designers in turn are producing less diverse stock. This creates a ripple effect where, even for common sizes, a bride might find herself waiting months longer for a dress to be ordered. Or worse, discovering that a style she loves isn't available in her size at all, forcing her into compromises she never anticipated. The standard is becoming less standard, and the options, once abundant, are now surprisingly constrained. At the heart of this quiet discontinuation lies a powerful, undeniable force: profit. Margins, and those margins are increasingly under siege. Rising material costs, from intricate laces to delicate silks, have significantly increased the price designers charge boutiques. Furthermore, many designers impose minimum order quantities or require boutiques to carry a certain number of styles regardless of individual sales performance. This puts immense pressure on boutique owners to make every square foot of their showroom count. A sample gown, especially one in a less frequently tried-on size, represents a substantial investment that might not yield a quick return. To mitigate these risks and maintain profitability, boutiques are streamlining their inventory, focusing on the sizes they believe will sell fastest and require the least amount of floor space. It's a harsh economic reality, where the cost of Diversity is becoming too high for many independent boutiques to bear, leading to a narrower, more homogeneous selection that prioritizes quick turnover over comprehensive customer service. This focus on the bottom line, while understandable from a business perspective, fundamentally reshapes the landscape of bridal shopping, often at the expense of the bride's experience. Beyond the immediate financial pressures on boutiques, a deeper, more complex secret lies within the global supply chain itself. The bridal industry, much like fast fashion, has become increasingly reliant on international manufacturing, which is fraught with its own set of challenges. Geopolitical tensions, fluctuating shipping costs, port congestion, and labor shortages in manufacturing hubs around the world have all contributed to unprecedented delays and uncertainties. Designers in turn are forced to simplify their production lines to cope with these variables. Producing a vast array of sizes for every single style becomes a logistical nightmare. When lead times are unpredictable and material sourcing is volatile, this has led to a subtle but significant shift. Designers are producing fewer total sample sizes, pushing the burden onto boutiques to make do with less. There's also a burgeoning fast fashion mentality creeping into bridal, where trends move quicker and designers are pressured to deliver new collections more frequently. This emphasis on speed and novelty often means less investment in a wide size range for each individual gown, as the focus shifts to getting new styles to market quickly. Rather than ensuring every style is available in every size for every body, the global interconnectedness, ironically, is leading to less choice on a local level. This brings us to the boutique's hidden battle, a struggle often unseen by the eager brides walking through their doors. Boutique owners are caught in an unenviable position, squeezed from both ends. On one side are the designers, with their minimums, their lead times, and their own supply chain woes. On the other side are the brides, each with a unique vision, a unique body, and a unique dream. Boutique owners are passionate about helping brides find their perfect dress, but they are also running a business in an increasingly challenging economic climate. They face rising rents, increasing staff costs, and the pressure to compete with online retailers that don't carry physical inventory. The decision to discontinue certain sizes isn't made lightly. It's often a painful compromise between the desire to serve every client and the necessity of staying financially viable. They're forced to make strategic, often heartbreaking, choices about which sizes to prioritize, which styles to drop, and how to best utilize their limited resources. This internal conflict often results in a subtle shift in their inventory, a gradual narrowing of options that reflects a desperate attempt to stay afloat, rather than a deliberate exclusion of certain body types. For any bride-to-be, the urgent truth is this: the landscape of bridal shopping is changing, and waiting could mean facing drastically limited choices. The luxury of browsing a wide array of sizes and styles in person is diminishing. If you're planning a wedding, especially if you fall into the petite, plus, or even some of the standard sizes that are becoming less common, immediate action is paramount. Procrastination in this new reality isn't just about missing out on a sale. It could mean compromising on the very essence of your dream dress, settling for something that doesn't quite fit your vision or your body. You might find yourself resorting to expensive custom orders, which can add thousands to your budget and significantly extend your timeline, or facing the daunting task of extensive, costly alterations on a dress that was never truly meant for your frame. The window of opportunity to find your ideal gown in a readily available size is shrinking, and the earlier you begin your search, the more options you will have at your disposal. This isn't a drill, it's a quiet revolution happening in bridal boutiques, and it demands your attention now. The dream dress, once an almost universal promise, is becoming a more elusive reality for many. The quiet discontinuation of key sizes in bridal boutiques isn't just an industry trend, it's a fundamental shift, driven by complex economic pressures and global supply chain challenges, reshaping the very experience of finding your wedding gown. For future brides, this means less choice, longer waits, and the potential for significant compromise. The time for passive dreaming is over. If you are a bride-to-be or know someone who is, understand that the clock is ticking. The beautiful, diverse array of options that once defined the bridal experience is quietly, steadily vanishing. Act decisively, be informed, and begin your search sooner rather than later. Because the dress you envision today might not be available tomorrow, and the dream dress you've always imagined could, quite literally, become an impossible dream.